We are visiting with Greg Funderburg from Fox Affiliate in Greenville, South Carolina. Of course, Greg from the Sylacauga area, his family here, and you were over in Childersburg last night for an event too. It's something very special to you.
Special. I was speaking. Actually, I was there for the Upward Bound program, and Ms. Joyce Giddens-Hobbs. She asked me if I would say a few words to the students and parents, and it's always a good thing to, come back and speak with the Upward Bound students. And it's a great program for students in 9th through 12th grade, and they get a chance to do enrichment projects and tours and go to different places, and of course get help with their homework and things like that. So it's a great program that has been at Central Alabama for I know a good over 20 years now.
Mm-hmm. Talk about your family a little bit here in Sylacauga.
Family's doing good. Mom and dad are both doing well. So it's always good to come home and see them. My brother is doing well. I have 2 brothers, an older brother and a younger brother. They're both doing well. So it's good to get back. And my grandmother, got to hang out with her a little bit last night. She and my mom both went to the banquet with me last night. So it's good to, hang out with the family a little bit. Because normally when I'm home, I come home because I work until 11 o'clock at night. So normally I'll leave Friday night or Saturday. So I'm leaving to go back to South Carolina on Sunday. So I'm here for maybe 24 or 36 hours. So I'm here for a couple days. So I'm looking forward to.
Talk about a day in the life of a news anchor at a Fox affiliate in South Carolina.
Well, I work night side. I work Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. until 11:30. So I go in for our afternoon editorial meeting. We talk about everything that's happened in the day, the shootings and, all the bad stuff. And then we talk about the feel-good stories. The big story right now out of South Carolina I've seen on all of the Birmingham stations as well. I don't know if you talked about this morning, but there's a coffee shop, a Starbucks that they're building inside of a funeral home in Easley, South Carolina, which is about 20 miles from Greenville. So it's good to, see all of that. But, I do that, talk about the news of the day, go shoot stories. And they were live at 10 o'clock Monday through Friday. And then we have a new 11 o'clock show we're doing now on Fox. So it keeps us pretty busy. And covering the news is always, it's always good to get out in the community.
You covered some great big stories with a lot of key players in the political world as well.
Exactly. I've covered every president in the past 20 years except George Herbert Walker Bush. President Obama has been to Asheville, North Carolina, which is part of our DMA. I've covered President George W. Bush when I worked in Columbus, Georgia, right after I left TV6, and covered Bill Clinton when he was in Asheville a couple of months ago. And I have met Jimmy Carter when I was in Columbus. So I've gotten a chance to do a lot of different things. And I told the students last night, growing up in Sylacauga, Alabama, you never would have expected a little boy from Sylacauga, a small town, to be meeting important people and celebrities and going on to do so many different things like this. I just tell people the sky is the limit. Keep reaching forward. You can make it happen.
Even though you're in front of millions of people and it's an enjoyable job, it can be a stressful job too.
Stressful job. A lot of people think it's glamorous, and if you look at it on television, it looks very glamorous, but it's not as glamorous as it looks. You're always on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You go to Walmart, you go to the store, you're talking to people, you're meeting people. So, you're always on. And I like that aspect. I love interacting with our viewers. And I know my mom always talks about it all the time. You always post certain things on Facebook. You always post too much stuff on Facebook. But I think it's about, especially in my line of work, and it's changing so much with Facebook and Twitter and so many social media platforms, that we have to get out there and put ourselves out there on social media platforms so that people will get to know who we are a little bit. You still have that private life, but you'll have that public life, but letting people inside your public life and your private life a little bit so people can get to know you and watch you as a viewer. Because, even when I'm sitting on set anchoring on the weekends, I am on Facebook during the show. Viewers are emailing me information, talking about stories. So it's so important, to connect with people. And that's one thing I love about this job. I love being able to connect with people, meeting people. And I tell people, if you see me in public, don't hesitate to stop me. Just say, hey, come by and speak. Don't ever think that I'm too busy, because I'll make time.
You also have, actually in the last year or so, become a health spokesperson. You really got involved with making sure that your health is taken care of better.
We do a segment called Get Moving Mondays. Actually just ended a couple weeks ago. We've been doing a segment for about a year and a half. It's about health and fitness and getting people involved in their health. And the reason I wanted to do this segment, I grew up in Alabama, which is in the top 10 of the most obese states in our country. And I really got a chance to put myself out there. On my mom's side of the family, we have diabetes, heart disease, and hypertension, stuff like that runs in our family. And the same thing on my dad's side of the family. So I wanted to take a stand and encourage South Carolinians to get healthier. But through social media, I put my stuff out there. So not only did I impact people in South Carolina, but I impact people here at home. I have 2 of my aunts have lost weight. Not saying it's because of me, but they've been encouraged to, get healthier, get in shape. My mom has lost, I think, about 70 pounds, so she's doing well. And so many other people have just taken the initiative to want to get themselves healthier. And I'm always talking to people in Sylacauga and Talladega County that will email me on Facebook, what are you doing? What advice do you have? And I'm just blessed that I was able to get that knowledge and be able to share that not just with viewers, but share it with people here back home too.
And it wasn't easy, was it?
It was not easy. It's hard. And it's still hard. I still have 45 pounds to go. I've lost 70 pounds, and it's very difficult. I tell people all the time that it's all about moderation and getting your exercise in, and you have to realize that you can make it happen. So many people have. It's just about discipline, dedication, and having that determination that you can do it.
I know you guys have followed it there. We followed here a story of a restaurant, I think is in Indianapolis, that was offering discounts to churches. And we have a number of those restaurants in the Sylacauga and Childersburg and Talladega area that does the same thing. And 10% discount if you bring your church bulletin in. Well, everything seems to be changing. There's been a lawsuit filed against this restaurant for doing that, and a lot of things are changing in America today.
A lot of things are changing. I was when I did that story a couple weeks ago, a lot of people, because the guy that got upset about this originally, he's an atheist, and I interviewed an atheist. I put on my Facebook page, I need to talk to an atheist about this story, and people said comments, how could you dare talk to this guy, And one thing about my job, I tell people, I get to speak with people on so many different platforms. I believe in God, but if they don't believe in God, I want to hear what they have to say. So she was a very pleasant lady. She talked about her opinion. I talked to the folks in the businesses in South Carolina. They talked about why they wanted to offer this church discount, and they had a very valid point that, even though they offer a church discount, they offer a discount for, one restaurant said, they give you $7 off for $35 or more. They have college discounts. They have senior citizens discount. They have the church bulletin discount. So they're free to do whatever they want to do. It's basically, they have so many different discounts for so many different people. And even on Sundays, if you come in at a certain time, you still get a 10% off either way. It's just with the church bulletin, you get 20% off. So it's just every business, I think, should be able to do what they want to do. It's just as long as you're not discriminating against people. And I don't personally feel that a church bulletin, either having one or not, is not discriminating against a group of people just because you don't have one. Because there are other discounts available.
Greg Funderburg, our guest from a Fox affiliate in Greenville, South Carolina. Of course, Greg originally from Sylacauga, Alabama, and you were at a station in Columbus, Georgia, went from there to South Carolina. Talk to people this morning, maybe kids are going to college or maybe in senior high school this year, or maybe their parents watching this morning. Talk to them about living your dream.
Well, when I was in high school, I tell people all the time, if you want to make something happen, you can make it happen. So I knew by watching a good friend of mine, former NBC 13 anchor Fran Curry. She came to my school. She spoke about her career in TV news. So inspired in July of 2000. And so a year and a half later, it was my senior year, ready to graduate, wanted to intern. And so the thing about it is, you want to go out, if you want to be a TV person, call this guy right here. Tell him that, you want to go on TV, you want to do something to get your TV career started. Or if you want to be a nurse, go to the local hospital. If you want to be a doctor, go shadow a doctor. It's all about making that opportunity for you by going towards it. Nobody's going to come and say, you want to do this, you want come here and do this. You got to make that opportunity for yourself. Because I just cold call you cold turkey. And it's all about...
And you started cold turkey too,
Cold
didn't
turkey,
you?
very cold turkey. I was looking at that tape the other day. A friend of mine, he was not depressed, he was kind of down about starting out TV. He said it was I said, I can show you some days when I said, I have not always been this way. But it's all about creating those opportunities and working hard and believing in God. And God will get you to where you want to be. You just got to go out there and put forth the work as well.
Brittany Biven, who went to Montevallo as you did, she's working at an affiliate in, I think, Shreveport or somewhere now, and as a reporter and as a weekend anchor, something like that. And so, you know, you start somewhere.
Exactly.
You've got to, and Greg's mentioned it, where you begin doesn't have to be where you finish.
Exactly. And one thing about it is I started in Columbus, Georgia, which is a small market 128. I never imagined that I would go from Columbus, Georgia to Greenville, South Carolina. Greenville was never in my plan at all. I don't know why God sent me to Greenville, South Carolina, but there was some reason he sent me there, and I've learned that since then. But at first I didn't know why, but I jumped 92 TV markets to get to Greenville.
Wow.
So that was the 36th largest market in the country, and I think Birmingham is either 39 or 40 now. So a lot of people ask me, are you coming back home to Birmingham? Are you going to come back home to Birmingham? Well, I'm in a market that's comparable to Birmingham at this point. So I'll just be making a lateral move if I wanted to come back to Birmingham. And I've enjoyed it so much I'm 4 hours away from home that I still get to, I'm close if something happens or if I need to get home for an event. So I still get to come home as much, but Birmingham isn't in my vision. It used to be in my vision 5 years ago. But my plans have changed a little bit. So could Birmingham be in the future? Could be in the future. You never know what God has for me. And my main goal right now, I would love to be a morning anchor at a major station. My ultimate goal, my dream job would be to anchor on Good Morning America or the Today Show. It's a tough business out there, so we'll see what happens in the next 10, 15 years.
You've got a lot of friends in the Birmingham market. I know Rick Journey just left a morning show in Birmingham, and Mike Dubberly replaced him. A lot of players change in television.
A lot of times, a lot of people don't realize that, you know, a lot of these people in Birmingham, they've been here for years. And they go from station to station. A lot of stations now have the non-compete clauses, but sometimes you can finagle your way through that. But James Spann, if I'm not mistaken, he's worked at every station in Birmingham. And, you know, different people jump around from different places. But I just think Birmingham is a great market. It's a great TV market. So I think it is in my future, but just not right now.
You were working at the station in Greenville when the tornadoes raked Alabama last year, and hundreds of people were killed. Your personal thoughts when you began first to look at that storm system, and afterwards the devastation and loss of life that it caused?
And actually, I was live in our 6:30 show that day. I didn't know anything had happened, and I hear them talking about it on TV. They said this massive tornado through Alabama, and I'm live in the show, so I step away from the camera and look at the video in the live truck. I'm like, oh my God, what has happened? I remember calling my mom and my family to make sure they were okay. It didn't come this way, thank God. But just being in television, a lot of times we're giving other people the news, but then when you see it happening close to your home, it can get emotional, or you get concerned because you want to make sure your family's okay. Once you know that your family is okay, you can continue to do your job and continue to do the work that you need to do to make people aware what's happening and inform people about the news.
Outside of the book we're writing in our days at TV6, a funny story that's happened with you in television.
Outside of TV6,
yeah.
Let's see.
I mean, we're writing a book on that one, you know.
Let's see. I'm not a big pet person. I had some situations where we've had a pet go a little haywire a little bit on TV. But the most funniest thing I'm known for with all of my friends is when I was ice skating in it was in Columbus, Georgia with the Columbus Cottonmouth, the hockey team. It was their beginning of the season. So I was doing this live shot that morning, and I kind of slipped around and kind of slipped and fell on live TV. But it was on the morning show. You know, it's one of those, you know, situations where you fall, you make fun of yourself, you laugh, and keep going. But that has to be one of the most funniest parts of my career.
The most interesting interview that you've done in television?
I have to say the most interesting interview was Bill Clinton was an interesting guy. Very nice guy. He was interesting, but I will say, take that back, Jimmy Carter. I was a young journalist, 23 years old, never imagined that I would be interviewing the former president. And I was standing, it was at the time when John Edwards was running for president, and he was endorsing him in America's Georgia. And I was standing in the back with the rest of the national media. So I see Mrs. Carter. She walks right beside me. I'm 23 years old. I'm standing by the former First Lady who was in the White House from 1977 to 1981. And I'm talking to her, and I said, I would love to interview a president one day. And so when Jimmy Carter walked by with the Secret Service, she says, Jimmy, talk to this young man. And so I got my first interview with a president of the United States. And that was in 2007. So it's just amazing how things happen, and, you know, people that you get to meet, and the people that you get to meet that impact our American history, people that have impacted our country, civil rights leaders to celebrities. It's just every day never surprises me with this job.
Presidential election coming up in November.
It's going to be a big year. I know we're covering both the Republican and the Democratic convention. The closest one is President Obama. The Democratic convention will be in Charlotte, which is about an hour or so from Greenville. And I think the Republican is in Florida somewhere. Orlando.
Talk about a city that has grown. Charlotte is a city that has grown.
It's grown. It's in the top 20 as TV market. I have friends that work in Charlotte. It's a good place. I love the shopping in Charlotte. It's a really nice area.
What does Greg Funderburg like to do in his downtime?
I love hanging out with my friends. I go bowling. I go skating. I play tennis.
I saw you in your tennis attire a few days ago.
That was I hadn't played tennis in about 6 months, so it was a little rough running around for the ball. But I enjoy playing tennis, and I enjoy meeting new people. And believe it or not, a lot of people don't know this. I enjoy speaking. I love doing public speaking. I love speaking at schools and churches. But the thing about it is, if you remember years ago, I was very shy, and I'm still shy. I'm a very shy person. People don't realize that. They think, oh, you're on TV, so how can you be shy? But I am shy at moments. I do the job, and then after I'm done, I sit down, I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I just did that. But that's what I do in my personal time, and I like to research history, and
You critique your shows?
I do all the time. That's one thing that my agent highly recommends, is about looking at yourself after the show, because it's fresh on your mind, and seeing where you can grow, where you made a mistake, how you can get better from it.
And of course, television posture and that kind of thing, which people may not notice. The people men and women who are doing the shows and their directors, they notice those kind of things.
Yeah, sitting up straight and making sure. A lot of people don't realize. I always talk about this and joke about it. A lot of people think that I am so much taller in real life. I'm only 5'6", and people think I'm 6'3", 6'7", because I appear to be taller. I have a box I stand on in the newsroom. When I anchor on the weekends with Jade, I have 2 pillows I sit on to make me appear to be taller than about the same height that she is, because she's a little bit taller than I am. So there are a lot of secrets that we use, and we sit up straight.
You use pillows at TV6.
I did, and even just angling yourself at a certain way to make you look smaller, because TV adds 15, 20 pounds sometimes. It depends on the camera. So there are a lot of different things that we do that make us look presentable on TV. And with HD television comes a new new thing where you have to make sure you have the certain kind of makeup on. A lot of people don't realize men and women on TV have to wear makeup to eliminate the shine, and for HD television, you can see every pore. And trust me, you want to see anchors with their powder on HD TV, because it can be brutal.
Greg Funderburg, our guest this morning. Greg and I worked together years ago at a local station in Sylacauga, and we appreciate Greg joining us this morning. Before we go, getting back to your health and your workout programs, and you at one time you had a personal trainer. Eating habits that you have now that maybe you didn't have 5 years ago.
I love egg whites. I do a lot of grilled chicken, a lot of grilled fish, tilapia. Let's see, I do a little bit of
barbecue.
Barbecue, I do a little bit of barbecue every now and then as a reward, but the barbecue has too much sugar in it, so you want to kind of eliminate that a little bit. If you want to do fruit is good for you. The best kind of fruit to have is strawberries, melons, honeydew melon, I should say, cantaloupe, watermelon. All of those are good watery fruit. But, you know, pineapple, which I love pineapple, grapes, very high in sugar, so you don't want to eat those as much. Drinking lots of water, having good carbs like baked potatoes. I have jasmine's rice, and I do a lot of different things to, you know, try to keep myself. It's weird how a lot of people think that you make these changes and it's hard to do it, but I've been doing it so long, it's just a part of my life now. So whenever I go out, I don't want fried chicken. I don't want to get ham or something like that because it's out of my ordinary. And I haven't been to a McDonald's or Burger King in over 2 years.
Wow.
Hard to believe.
It is. Greg Funderburg, our guest from Fox Affiliate in Greenville, South Carolina. How can people find out more about Greg and kind of keep up with what you're doing over there?
You can look me up on Facebook. My Facebook page, my Greg Funderburg page, is about to flip to a fan page because Facebook will not allow you to have more than 5,000 friends. So we're flipping that over to a fan page, so you can look me up on Facebook. You can go to foxcarolina.com. We have all of our stories there. You can Google me, Greg Funderburg, and stories will pop up. You can go to YouTube and type in my name, and a lot of videos there. A lot of my weight loss videos are actually on YouTube, so you can follow and look at that whole progress because I started at 281 pounds, so that was
come a long way.
Come a long way. A lot of fat, I would say, and it's been a great experience. And I just tell people if I can do it, anybody can do it because I'm a sucker for sweets, and I had 2 birthday cakes last week. So
I saw those.
and
I noticed you didn't bring a slice or anything.
Well, the carrot cake just didn't make it past 2 days. I had some friends come over and they had some because I didn't want to eat it all, but it was really good. My favorite bakery in Greenville.
I know you love going to church. It's very important to you.
Love going to church. I'm a member of Bethlehem Baptist Church in Simpsonville, South Carolina. A lot of times, when I first moved to Columbus, I never found a church. And people used to always say, are you going to find a church? You're going to join a church? I was there 3.5 years, but I never felt like a church there was. I would visit churches. I love their churches, but I never felt at home or felt that I should join the church. But went to Greenville, met a pastor. And the church, it's 2 services. It was a pretty big church, and he held my attention where I don't text in service. So I felt like if you
you can do that, you're in good shape.
I'm in good shape. So I ended up 6 months after going there. I joined the church, and I love it. And one thing about Bethlehem Baptist Church in Simpsonville that really attracted me to Pastor Baldwin, my dad is a member of Pine Grove Baptist Church. My mom is a member of Mount Olive Baptist Church in Childersburg. And I've always felt, even though I was a member of Mount Olive, I always will be a member of Mount Olive. It's my home church. But just thinking about the churches, I felt like I grew up in both churches, and I was a member of both churches. I feel like I still am a member of both churches. But for Pine Grove, Mount Olive, it felt like both churches all in one at my church in South Carolina. And that's what really helped me make that decision to join the church in South Carolina.
Greg Funderburg, always a pleasure.
It's always a pleasure.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
More on Daybreak in a minute.